Welcome to a Jillibean soup tutorial. I'm Jen Gallacher. Today we're going to use a brand new stamp set that will be available soon called the Cloud Stamp. And what it has cute little clouds, but it also is designed to be an ice cream with a cone here and the scoops of ice cream here. It also includes a variety of phrases. We're going to be using this card shape, and it has the cloud, and we'll use one of the small cloud shakers, which is designed to fit inside. So using this stamp set, this cloud card, and this cloud shaker, let's go ahead and get started creating our card. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to stamp the cone onto the front of this cloud card. Now I am using a tool that's called the Misty tool. It's just a stamping tool that allows me to do double stamping really easily and get my stamp placement really quickly. But you can also use a clear acrylic block for using these stamps. So what you do is you place your stamp down so that it's facing down, and then you close the apparatus and you open it up. And then I'm just using a brown stamping ink, and I'll ink that really well. And then we'll close it. And the thing I like about this particular stamping system is that if I find that I want to go a little darker on my stamping, I can easily just add another layer. So there we have the cone. You'll notice that I placed the cone stamp slightly inside this open cloud piece, which is why I have my card open. That allows the scoop to ride right on top of the cone, because the cone, when you have an ice cream scoop, is always behind the scoop itself. Next, we're going to stamp the scoop. So I have two different shades of stamping ink in a teal color. This particular one is a little bit darker. This will serve as the outside of our scoop. And I'm going to get it a little bit darker by double stamping it. Now next I'm going to take a slightly lighter color, and I'm using a foam ink applicator, and I'm just going to pick up some of that color onto the foam applicator, and leaving this piece on my stamp apparatus, I'm going to start off the shape and bring the color onto the shape. And I will just keep applying the color until I like what I see. And you can see here that I have the cloud. Now what we are going to do next is we're going to take the die that comes with it, and we're going to let the die fussy cut that shape. So all this excess color is going to get cut off by the die. So to use a thin die like this, you need a manual die cut machine. I'm using the Sizzix Big Shot. I have a platform and a clear cutting mat. Now this particular platform is magnetic, meaning it will hold your dies in place, but to ensure that I get the best cut possible, I'll just take a piece of decorative washi tape and I will hold that die in place. Then you need another clear cutting platform and you just slide it through your die cut machine. So here's what you end up with. You end up with the scoop with the outline stamped image, the foam color inside, and all it took was this die that comes with the stamp set. So with this card, I'm going to show you a couple of different tricks. The first is that I have pre-cut a piece of teal cardstock in the same shade as the stamped image, and you can see that I've cut it slightly smaller than this piece here. Now instead of adhering this to the back, we're actually going to adhere this to the front here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the cloud piece with the adhesive removed on the back there. And then I'm going to take this jar of candy sprinkles. These are actually candy bits. And I like to not completely fill the shaker piece, just enough. So we'll start by placing the piece on. We'll adhere it. Double check that you can see your stamped image on the front. Close your card and use your finger to kind of smooth that all out. So you can see how the shaker works like this. And now you have a piece like this. And the reason why I do this sometimes is then I can add additional stamping on this colored piece. I can add stamping here, but you can use it either way. You can use it so that when you open the card, the shaker is inside, or you can do it like this. So let's add some additional stamping and embellishments. So to add a sentiment to the front of the card, I simply will pick one of the charming phrases that comes with the stamp set. One of my favorite stamping inks is this Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's a nice black ink. It's really nice and solid. You just want to make sure that you ink that stamp nice and well. And then you want to just center that underneath your scoop of ice cream and the ice cream cone, and then firmly press it into the card. Do not rock the stamp, because then what will happen is you'll get the inked edges. You can see, nice little sentiment, and there are several to choose from, so you can use some on the outside and some on the inside. So to add a cherry to the top, use the cherry stamp and stamp the entire piece in a bright pink color. Then come back with a brown marker and color in the stem. Then I've used the die cut that comes with this set to fussy cut it. And to add it to the top of our card, I'm just going to use a single glue dot and place it right on top of that scoop. So it just adds a little bit of dimension to that piece. So I always like to add a little bit of texture to my stamped pieces, so I'm just going to use some brown enamel dots in a slightly darker color just to give it a little bit more pop. So let's go ahead and stamp a sentiment on the inside of this card. So on this particular stamp set, there are stamps that have options. So this one says "You're the," and then you can add the word "sweetest" or "coolest." So I'm going to use the word "sweetest," and because that is the most important part of the phrase to me, I'm using a dark teal like we did at the beginning, and I'm going to stamp it down here at the bottom using a clear acrylic block. So it's just in teal. And then I will add the next part of the phrase in black. First, I'll clean off the stamp, and I just use a baby wipe. You could use a stamp chamois. You could use some stamp cleaning fluid, whatever you like. And then we'll do the phrase that says "You're the," and we'll do that in that Memento Black again. And we'll stamp this slightly over the top. It says "You're the sweetest." So here we have the exterior of the card, and then when you open it up, it has a fun pop of color, has a sentiment here in the bottom, and then you can add your sentiment or message to your friend on the inside of the card. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for additional inspiration, visit our website.